Hey y'all, welcome to the Real Estate Baller Show. My name is V. Lee, and this is the show about sharing real estate, real life experience, knowledge, and takeaways so that you can be a better real estate investor and you can achieve your financial freedom in real estate investing faster. Real estate math. Simple, but people can overcomplicate the math. This math is applied to properties that you buy and sell in a short period of time. In other words, a flip. Rental properties work a little bit differently, and we previously did an episode on this that you can watch. So you hear me say this all the time. Investors lose money when they overestimate the ARV and underestimate the repairs. But there is another number that can cause investors to lose money. That is holding costs or carrying costs. In today's episode, we're going to talk about simple real estate math and how to calculate your profit per deal. Do keep in mind all these numbers are estimate, and all the calculations today are based on the purchase price and the potential sale price of the property. And just in case you wonder, purchase price is what you will pay to acquire the property, and sale price is what the potential buyer will pay you when you sell the property. So first, let's talk about buying costs. With buying costs, we have the purchase price, and that's probably your biggest buying cost. Then you have title fees. Title fees include title policy. This is usually about 1% of the purchase price. It is state regulated. Then you have escrow and recording fees charged by the title company. Sometimes you have a survey cost if a survey is required or needed. Now the seller usually pay the title policy and the seller closing costs. But in most cases, when dealing with investor, the investor offer to pay all of the costs as an incentive for the buyer. So if you agree to pay all the closing costs, make sure you include the cost in your calculation. So next you have a lender fee if you have a lender. If you don't pay for the acquisition with cash, then you have to involve a lender. And the lender usually would charge an origination fee, and most of the time an appraisal is required. So there's a cost associated with that as well. Then if you go through a real estate agent or a wholesaler, then you also gonna incur a real estate commissions or a wholesale fee. Then you have the cost, and this is the cost that most people leave out, is an acquisition cost or the marketing cost to acquire the property. For example, if you spend $5,000 in marketing for that month and you buy one property, then your marketing cost is $5,000. So we'll keep it simple for math. So that's pretty much all the buying costs. And for my quick math, I typically would budget this buying cost as 2.5% of my purchase price. And if my lender fee is higher, then it may become a little bit more. So if the lender charges you 2 points origination fee or 3 points, then your buying cost obviously is going to be higher than 2.5%. Next to the buying cost, I'm going to follow like the progressions of the property. So you're going to acquire the property and then you hold it to do the necessary work or whatnot before you can resell. Okay, so next is the holding cost. Holding cost would include your interest payments if you have a loan, your property tax payments, the insurance payments, and there's 3 types of insurance: hazard, flood. Flood and windstorm are only in certain area, but most importantly, the hazard insurance is always needed. Okay, it's really risky if you pay cash and you say, well, I don't need to have insurance. Please don't make that mistake, because the house could burn down and you lose all your cash. All right, so make sure you always have insurance. So we have interest payments, property tax payments, HOA payment. And this payment usually is a small amount unless the property belongs to a condo associations or a golf community of some sorts where the HOA fee is a lot higher. I was in Colorado recently, and a friend of mine owned a townhomes, and they said, oh, our HOA fee is really cheap. It's only $6,000 a year. And here we are in Texas. We used to, a few hundred. And if you pass 1,000 or 2,000, that's considered expensive. And so they said their HOA payment was $6,000, and that's cheap. And some other condo or association charged $30,000 a year. Okay, so you got that. And then you got utility payments, gas, electricity, water. You have yard maintenance, maybe pool maintenance, maybe snow removal, maybe hot tub maintenance, any other outside maintenance, extra maintenance that you got. Okay, so that would consist of your holding costs. And my quick math, my short, lazy calculations for this holding cost would be I use my loan amount, because my loan amount is typically higher than my purchase price. Or you can also use the ARV. So if my ARV is $200,000, my holding cost would be 1% a month. So $2,000 a month in holding costs. This is my way of cheating simple math, quick math, right? Or you can break it down. I think I got pretty much everything covered with holding costs. If there's something that you incur that I did not cover, please leave a comment below. Now we got to ready to sell, and you have the selling costs. So what are selling costs? When you buy, you pay the title policy. Now you sell, there's also another title policy. And this cost of the title policy is now based on the sale price. So you have the title fees, just same as when you purchase the property. This time, all your fees will be slightly higher because you have a bigger price. Same title fee, higher. In some cases, if you sell to an owner-occupant, you may have to do a seller contribution, and that is typically about 3 to 5% of the sale price. It's also regulated. It depends on the loan that they go through, the underwriter. The amount is regulated. You can give $30,000 on a $100,000 purchase. Yeah, so that's the seller contribution. You have real estate commission, and in Texas, it's about 6%. So 3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the listing agent. It's all negotiable, but it's kind of standard here in Texas. And I find that it's risky if you reduce commission to the buyer's agents because they're less motivated to want to sell your property. And if you are your own listing agents, then you can save 3% on the listing agent side. Okay, so that's typically about 6% here in the state of Texas. You have other fees like prepayment penalty. If your lender has a prepayment penalty, like they want you to have the loan for 6 months or a year, and you sell the property too fast and they haven't had a chance to earn any interest yet, so they may want to charge you a prepayment penalty. So make sure you know what that number is. So for selling costs, you have title fee, just like in the buying costs. You have seller contribution, and it's not always, you don't always have this. The real estate commissions, most of the time, if you go through the retail route. And then other fees, such as prepayment penalty. You ready on how to calculate your real profit? Okay, we got all the numbers already. So here's your real profit. Your real profit is sale price minus buying costs, minus holding costs, minus repairs, minus selling costs. And there you have it, your real profit number. So now that you have an understanding of how to calculate your profit number, let's do an example together. So I'm going to share this Excel sheet with you. So let me go ahead and share. And here I'm going to use some predetermined number already, okay? So remember earlier in my explanation, we're talking about purchase price, repair, sale price, holding costs, buying costs, marketing costs, selling costs. And then I put the commission separately, okay? So Things like if your repairs number is higher, obviously that affects your profit. If your sale price is lower, that affects your profit. If your purchase price is lower, that helps your profit. If you can minimize the other costs, it's also help to increase the profit. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to use a purchase price of 100,000, and let's assume that this property has an after repair value of 200,000. Now, it would be sweet if you can spend $1,000 on the repairs, right, and hold it for 2 months, and then sell this property for 200,000. So that would be the potential profit right here, right? That's awesome, isn't it? Okay, but in many situations, that's not reality. Okay, it can happen. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just you have to be really good at what you do. Okay. All right. So in reality, we probably would see something like where you pay $100,000 for a property, it's worth $200,000, and you spend about $30,000 on rehab or repairs, and then you probably will hold this property for about, I say, 5 months or so, because of your rehab. Although this is not really the case in the last 2 years, but this is more of a norm here. Okay, so as you can see, if you pay $100,000 for a property, you spend $30,000 on repairs, you hold the property for 5 months, you estimate to make $35,000. And I apply some of the quick math here just for easy calculations. You have an option to obviously break down what go into your buying costs, title policy, just like we discussed earlier, and then origination fees and whatever fees that you use. But I sum it up to be about 2.5%. And then your acquisition cost here, obviously, is whatever it costs you to buy a property. So it may be 10,000 is what it generally costs in today's market. In some market, it may cost 50,000. In other time, about a few years ago, it was at 2,500. So it's more competitive now. So obviously, it costs more to buy, but hopefully you'll make more profit here. So it's justified, right? And then we have the selling costs, and selling costs and buying costs are almost the same, right? Except for when you sell, you have a higher selling cost because your price at the time of selling hopefully is higher than the price that you pay to buy the property. Why this is lower? Because I use a 1% origination fee here, and there's no origination fee here from the lender. If you have questions, do drop a comment below. I love to hear from you. And then as far as holding costs go, I use my quick math. And that is, so if my ARV is 200, my max loan amount would be 140, and I just used 1% of that as my holding cost. So that means it cost me $1,400 a month to hold that property. And that includes my interest-only payment, my utility, tax, insurance, yard maintenance and all. And obviously I could break this number down to be more precise, but this business is a good estimate. You don't have an exact number until you actually, do the work, do the repairs, and then sell the properties, and then you can plug in and do your real number. And this is just an estimate so that you know your potential profit number that you can make from the property. And then so that you don't miss out on the calculations, because I often find that many investors do miss out, and they end up not making as much money as they thought because they forget to include certain expenses into their calculation. So I hope you don't make that mistake. And yes, don't forget to, leave a comment below if you have any questions, or if you have a different way of calculating your cost. But I like to keep it simple. So this is my really simple math
And I've seen where people use really fancy pro forma and Excel sheets with a bunch of columns. For me, again, I like to keep it simple. This helped me to really see where my numbers potentially could be. And I could be off by, a few hundred, but not much.
Hey, thank you for watching the Real Estate Ballers show. I hope that you can apply this math into your next deal. And if you find value in this show, do give us some love. Hit that like and subscribe button and share this wonderful episode with a friend. Thank you and see you in the next video.